All right, this is lesson 2.8 in pre-algebra, inequalities and their graphs. This should not be a huge surprise to you. All right, an inequality looks like this. Okay, x. Okay, can somebody read that to me? How do you read this? What is the, you know what I mean? Like whenever I say greater than or less than, people go, you know. Which one is it? You read it from, so this is greater than. How do you know that? Because you read it from, this is important, you read it from left to right. Actually, more important than that is you read it from the variable's point of view. Okay, you read it from the variable's point of view. You would say that x is greater than 3. Remember, this is an alligator's mouth, right? An alligator's mouth, and the open mouth is facing the greater side. Does that make sense? The greater side is, okay, so then if it was this, read this to me then. What is that? Read that for me. Somebody? No, you read that from the variable's point of view. You read it from the variable's point of view. Y is less than negative 2. Does that make sense? You read it from the variable's point of view. So then what if I gave you this? What is that one? If you're reading it from the variable's point of view, Amy? No, read it from the variable's point of view. M is greater than 5, right? Greater than, less than. This is M is greater than 5, right? What is this then? What does that symbol there mean?
Greater than or equal to?
Right, so then read that to me, please, from the variable's point of view. Always, Sheena. X is greater than or equal to negative 21. Does that make sense? Yes. How do you read these things? From the variable's point of view. Okay. Now, and so that little line there, this is greater than or equal to, this is less than or equal to, right? All right. So then here, let's look at this. What if I gave you this? Okay, we're going to make an easy one. Y is greater than 3. Okay. I'm going to ask you to graph these things. Okay. Graphing these things is not difficult. The difficult part would be is if I asked you to actually go like this and graph these things by putting out, like, there's 0 and negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That would take forever. Does that make sense? That would take forever. Every time I ask you to graph. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. All I care about when you graph is that you have the arrows, the number line. You have to put the 0. I need you to know where this thing is. You've got to put the 0, and then you can put down the other number that's important. Okay, you see this? Are you all paying attention? Greater than 3. Which way is greater than? Which way is greater than?
That way.
To the right, right? This way is greater than. This way is less than. That should make sense to you, right? The numbers are getting bigger. They're getting greater when you go to the right. Right? So that way it's greater than. So here's the deal. You put an open circle up here, and you have it go to the right. Does that make sense? You put an open circle above it. The reason, why do you think I don't have you do it right on the line? Look at that. Because can you tell which way I'm pointing when oh no, it's right on the line. It's too hard to tell. Does that make sense? So I have you do it above the line, like that. This is properly graphed. Y is greater than 3. Okay. What if I gave you M is less than 4? Okay. Got to draw your number line. It's a line, so the ends have, they have arrows, right? Because it shows they're going on forever. What do you have to show me on the number line? 0. And then the other number that's important, 4. This is, read that to me again. Less than 4. Which way is less than?
Left.
To the left. That's what you do. You got to draw an arrow there. That is how you graph that. Now, I want you guys to write a couple of these down. Question, Kylie? I'll show you in a second. I want you to write a couple of these down right now so that you have these down. So write these questions down. Here we go. We're going to go, x is this greater than negative 3. Let's write that one down. You're going to all Watch this and do this for me. Here we go. Here we go. Draw your number line. Got to put the 0 and negative 3. Where does negative 3 belong? That's why I want you to put 0. Where is negative 3? Where does it belong?
To the left.
To the left of 0, right? Negative 3. Which way is greater than again?
To the right.
So I'm going to put an open circle above and to the right. This I want you to write down right now. Your paper should have that just like that so that there's no confusion as to how I want you to do it. Okay, got it? Let's do another one. Does it matter what the variable is? X, N, Y, P, smiley face? No, nothing, right? Doesn't make any difference. It makes no difference. So then when I graph this, somebody read this to me. Read me this, Gigi.
-5 is...
No. Read this to me again, Gigi. Try again. No. Whenever you read an inequality, you always read it from the variable's point of view. Read this to me, Lauren Pack.
N is less than -5.
N is less than -5. Make sense? So we draw our arrows again. We draw our number line, put a 0, put -5 where it belongs. It is less than. N is less than. So you're not looking at the sign here. You're looking at what is it from the variable's point of view. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is N is less than -5, which means it's going to go to the left. Does that make sense? That's important that you understand that. You read it from the variable's point of view. Got it? Okay. Did you all write that one down exactly the way I have it? Everybody has it down? Okay. Now, let's talk about this. What if I have this right here? Y is greater than or equal to 1. Okay. Let's watch how we graph this. Yeah, you're going to write this, but just watch for now. 0, and what number else? What other number do I need? 1. Now, here's the deal. It's or equal to. The open circle, pay attention. The open circle tells you that it is every number up to 1, but it doesn't include 1. The open circle means it does not include 1. You have done this before, I know. The open circle means it does not include 1. For example, I have a question. Could y be 1? Hold on, no, sorry. If I have this, if I have x is greater than 1, could x be 1? Because is 1 greater than 1? No. But how would you graph x is greater than 1 then? You would go like this, 0, 1. And you want to be able to know that it's everything up to 1, right up to it, but doesn't include 1. In this one up here, though, where y is greater than or equal to 1, to show that 1 is included, you fill the circle in, a solid dot. A solid dot means that it includes that number. So then if you ever see an or equal to, then you're going to have to use a solid dot. Does that make sense? So let's do one of these. Let's write it down. Let's see how you guys do here. Let's go less than or equal to -3. You guys go ahead and graph that one for me. Show me how to do this. Watching. So here's the deal. This is very important. Draw your little number line. I need the 0 and I need a -3. It says m is less than or equal to -3. So if I put a circle up here, is that correct?
No.
Why not? I have to include the -3 as a part of the solution because I have a question. Let's replace m with 3. Sorry, with -3. Is -3 less than or equal to -3? Is -3 less than or equal to -3? It certainly isn't both. What do you mean both? It's not less than negative 3. But that's why I'm saying, is negative 3 a solution to this equation? Is negative 3 less than or equal to negative 3? Yeah, it is. It's less than, it's equal to, right? That's why it says or equal to. It's less than or equal to, so it is. We're good. It is included. So I have a question here then. Did you guys all get that? Did you write that down? Did you write it down exactly the way I have it? I'm going to give you one. I'm going to ask you this. We're going to go 5. Okay, and I want you to tell me this. All I want you to do, we're not graphing this. I want you to tell me. I'm going to give you some numbers, and you're going to tell me which ones are solutions of this, okay? I'm going to give you some numbers, and you're going to tell me which ones of these are solutions. Right now, you circle for me, or you write down for me which one of these is a solution to this. Which one of those is an answer to that, a solution? Which ones are solutions to this? I suppose it would be easier if we were to say which one is not a solution to this, right? So first of all, read this to me, please. All right, so here we go. My car, yeah, it's not good. Okay, so what are the solutions here? It would probably be easiest to say which one's not a solution, but okay, let's go through this one by one. Lauren Pack, is negative 2 a solution to this? First of all, hold on. Read this to me, please, Lauren.
X is less than or equal to 5.
X is less than or equal to 5. Is negative 2 less than or equal to 5? Yes, so it is a solution. Does that make sense? If x was negative 2, that would be true, right? Just rewrite it. Is negative 2 less than or equal to 5? Or you could at this point say, is 5 greater than or equal to negative 2? Absolutely, right? So this is a solution. Yes, that is. What about 7? Is 7, could x be 7? Is 7 less than or equal to 5? No, right? It is not. So no. What about 5? Is 5 less than or equal to 5?
Yes.
Yes. What about 0? Is 0 less than or equal to 5? Yes. What about negative 5? Is negative 5 less than? Yes. So they're all true except for that 7. How many of you got that right?
Well, I picked the right ones.
No? You didn't get it right?
No, I got confused because it looked the greater than sign. It looks like.
So listen, I understand. This is a greater than or less than sign. No question, right? And you would say that is the greater than sign. But we are talking about it from the variable's point of view. Remember, I keep telling you that. When you have this, you have to read it from the variable's point of view. Does that make sense? So that's just something you have to learn. This is not something that, in pre-algebra here, in today's lesson, they may not give it to you where the variable's on the right. But you should, you're advanced, right? You guys are in the advanced math class. You got to know that if I have this, read that to me, Gigi.
Is greater than.
Right, isn't it? Where's the open mouth pointing? Toward the M. So M is greater than 6. Does that make sense? If you were to read this from left to right, you would say that 6 is less than M. That's fine. But if you're going to graph this, you've got to graph it from the variable's point of view. And so you want to read it from the variable's point of view. One thing that you're allowed to do, people, is this. Pay attention. Watch this. If I have this, what you're allowed to do is you can absolutely, if you want to, flip this thing. But listen, if it was an equal sign, if I have this, if I have 4 equals x, I can just flip it and go x equals 4, right? I mean, that's the same thing. Agreed? We do that all the time. The problem is that you can't just go m. That is not true, right? Which one's bigger according to this? The m is. So if you just flip it without, so what do I have to do? If I'm gonna move those things, I have to flip the sign, right? The sign follows what it follows, right? M is bigger than that 6. So when I flip it, you can go m is greater than 6 if you want to do that, right? But you're reading it from the variable's point of view. Make sense? Okay. Okay. Let's Let's take a small quiz on this. You guys should be able to do this, no problem. What?
I said fun.
Great. Okay, here we go. Number 1. Okay, number 1, let's go a simple one here. We'll go m is less than -3. Alright. You're graphing these things. Okay, and here's a little tricky thing. I'll show you in a second. I'll just see a little tricky. All right, here we go. Let's say you did. First one. Let's graph this baby. I need a 0 and I need a -3. You got to have the -3 on the correct side, right? Got to know how to do that. All right, then somebody read this to me. Read that to me, please, Brad.
M is less than -3.
Thank you. M is less than -3, so less than is to the left. Open circle or closed?
Open.
Open. Why open? Right, because it's -3 is not a solution. Right, it's not a part of the answer. Okay, number 2. Somebody read that for me, please. Kyla. Correct. Y is less than or equal to 2. So there's my 0 and 2. Which way is less than again? Left to right? Left to right. Which way is less than?
Left.
Left. Brad, you're with me, right? You're with me. Less than is left. Open circle to the left?
No.
Is that right?
No.
Why not?
Because it's
Or equal to. That means that 2 is a solution. It's included in the solutions, right? That open and that closed circle shows that 2 actually is a solution. Okay, number 3, read this for me. Gigi.
X is greater than 4?
Nope. X is greater than
Oh, -4.
-4, right? X is greater than -4. Which way is greater than? Which way is it? Everybody, which way is it? It's to the right. So closed circle? To the right, is that right?
No.
Why not?
Open.
Because it doesn't say or equal to.
Oh, is -4 a part of the answer?
No.
Is -4 a part of the solution?
No.
No. Okay, number 4. Read that to me, please. Amy.
X is less than or equal to -6.
Correct. X is less than or equal to. Solid dot. Less than. To the left. Make sense? Everybody got that? Okay. Number 5. Kind of a weird one. Just read it to me. Read that to me, please. Jade, read it to me.
X is greater than 2 plus 2.
That is what you'd read. X is greater than 2 plus 2. What do I need to do here, right? You need to add the 2 plus 2 and make that a 4. Simplify each side. That's a 4. So X is greater than 4. Solid or open?
Open.
Open to the right. Greater than 4. Makes sense?
I think that's
Okay. And then number 6. Somebody read that to me. Sheena, read number 6.
X is greater than Y is greater than 0.
Y is greater than 0. So all I have to do is put a 0. I don't have to put anything else, right? Solid dot?
Nope.
Oh.
Open.
Open dot to the right because it's reading it from the variable's point of view, right? If I wanted to, could I go y is greater than 0 and flip that thing around? Sure. If that makes you feel better, It's unnecessary. Read it from the variable's point of view, and you don't need to do that. Make sense? How many of you got all 6? Did you? Which one did you miss?
On number 3, I put 4 instead of -1.
Okay. I think you guys are going to be fine. Let me look here. One thing they do is this. They do ask you to do this. Sometimes they'll say, okay, okay, there's something we need to talk about here. What if I said this? What if I said that x is no more than 10? Now you got to think about this. X is no more than 10. So then you have to decide, what are the possible solutions here? Could x be 15? No. Could x be 10? It says x is no more than 10. So that would be, so it's 10. What about 5? Could it be 5? So then, how would you write this as an inequality? How would you write x is no more than 10 then? It can't be bigger than 10. 10 is included. So what would I write, Sheena? Less than or equal to 10. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You actually have to be able to envision this, right? You actually have to decide where are we talking about, right? What if it says x is positive? X is positive. What does that mean? How would I do that? Is -3 a possible solution?
No.
No. Is 5 a solution? Yes. What about 0? Is 0 a solution? Is 0 positive?
Yes.
No, 0 is not positive. What does 0 mean, people, in math? 0 is the absence of something, right? 0 is nothing. There's nothing there. How can that be positive if there's nothing, right? So 0 is not. So then how would you write this, Lauren?
X is greater than 0.
X is greater than 0. Does that make sense? Does it include 0?
No.
No. Right? What if I was to change this wording and say that x is non-negative? Non-negative means that it's not negative. X is not negative. So then, all of a sudden you go, okay, is 5 a solution? Is -5 a solution? What about 0? Is 0 non-negative? Hold on, is 0 negative? Okay, is it non-negative then? Yes, it's not negative. Is 0 not negative? Right? To be non-negative, it would be 0 is not negative. So it's just saying x is non-negative. So you'd go x is greater than or equal to 0. Does that make sense? Right? Is 0 non-negative? Yeah, absolutely. All right. Here's your homework. There you go.